Welcome to the WNBA. It's been 7 months since the New York Liberty won their first ever WNBA championship, and now they're back. The 2025 WNBA season is about to tip off with more games, bigger names, and wilder stakes than ever. So whether you're a brand new baby WNBA fan or you're just back for more, here is your crash course for everything you need to know to tune into the WNBA. Class is in session, okay? First, let's talk about the things that make the WNBA different from the NBA. Yes, they're both basketball, but the WNBA is very much its own game, and I'm gonna tell you why. The format of the game is completely different. WNBA games are shorter than NBA games. WNBA games are 40 minutes long with 10-minute quarters. Meanwhile, NBA games are 48 minutes long with 12-minute quarters. While that sounds like a small difference with like only 2 minutes per quarter, it makes a huge difference in how fast you have to play. The WNBA uses a slightly smaller ball for better control. Before you start, the WNBA ball is 28.5 inches and the NBA ball is 29.5 inches. Okay, it's a 1 inch difference. Like, get a life. Then you've got the season length. The WNBA has a significantly shorter season than the NBA, which they deserve because they have like a week in between March Madness and getting into the WNBA, and they have no off season because they play overseas during the off season to supplement their WNBA income. So they got a lot going on, okay? And their season just got longer. It's going to be 44 games long this season for the first time ever. Obviously, there's a new team, so they all got to play the new team, so the games are going to go up. And then you've got the NBA that has an 82-game schedule, which is absurdly long. Now let's get into the business. Money talks. What? Money talks. WNBA's max salary is $250,000. The NBA's max salary is $50 million plus. That's not even that. I don't care what you say, TV deals and, oh, they bring in more eyes. And that's a big difference. I mean, yeah, you might be a measly employee making what? $100,000 a year, which is a good salary, right? And the CEO is bringing in billions off your back, okay? And your measly 100K compared to his billions might be what you deserve because you don't run the company. But while he's on his jet off to Acapulco with his wife and his kids enjoying life, he's enjoying life with the money he's making off of your back. And you mean to tell me you never complain about that? Girl, bye. Everybody complains about their salary. I don't know why everyone gets so up in arms when WNBA players do it. Like, duh, who don't want to make more money? Why y'all mad at them because they want to make more money? Anyways, side rant. But WNBA revenue, viewership, and merch sales are all growing very fast. And as we've learned from the highest paid female athletes in the world, women are making a lot of money off of their endorsement deals and social media and all of the stuff they have to do off the courts, fields, whatever you want to call them in every single sport. So WNBA players are definitely bringing in the dough in other areas. They're not begging for spare change. That's the point. Also, the playoffs are different in the WNBA because there's no East versus West in the W. Just the top 8 teams overall make the playoffs regardless of geography or whatever the NBA wants to call it because Memphis is still in the fucking Western Conference. How does that make sense? I digress. The format of the WNBA playoffs is 3 rounds, no conferences, just vibes. And if you're the best, you make it. That's all. Now let's go team by team. I just checked in on the power rankings for this year's WNBA season. So we're going to go through these power rankings in order. Should we do best to worst or worst to best? Let's go worst to best. We're going to go through the power rankings and I'm going to tell you what you need to know about all of the teams, who the stars are, who the girls are, what the tea is, what the drama is, okay, what you need to be looking out for. Some key storylines that you should be looking out for going into this WNBA season are number 1, how can we not bring it up? If I didn't bring it up, I would be avoiding it. The Caitlin Clark phenomenon. The first thing I want to say when it comes to Caitlin Clark is yes, she's really that good. Caitlin Clark's impact extends beyond her individual record-breaking performances, but her popularity has driven viewership and attendance, and her presence will be a major focus throughout the season. But not only that, her team, the Indiana Fever, has made moves this offseason, okay? Then you've got the rookie class and the people in their sophomore year. The 2024 draft class, led by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, had a significant impact on the league, and the 2025 season will see the continued development of these players, as well as the emergence of the new rookies and the potentials for the sophomores to take center stage because they got their feet wet with the whole WNBA thing. Then there's the CBA negotiations that has everybody talking and the impact it might have on the players' salaries. The WNBA's current CBA, collective bargaining agreement, is nearing an opt-out deadline. This basically means the WNBA signs a little contract, okay, to protect the players throughout the season. Things like childcare, what happens if you get pregnant, how much you're getting paid, how you'll fly to games, what happens to retired players, these kind of things to protect the players, right? And these agreements go on for a certain amount of years, and when they're about to be up, the players can say, we're opting out of that. We want to renegotiate that, add some things, change some things. We want to make some things better to improve. The way I've heard it described, and if you guys don't know, I have a podcast with Lexi Brown, a Seattle Storm player in the WNBA. We've had talks and interviews with people who actually go into writing and amending this thing. And I've learned that originally, the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement was just a copy and paste version of the NBA's. Now, that doesn't make sense because it's very different because they're women and they need very different things, okay? And so going into this new year with all this new growth, they're renegotiating that. And we're seeing improvements to things like player salaries, hopefully, and things like chartering flights. Did y'all know that WNBA players were just flying commercial amongst us regular folk, okay? If their flight was delayed, they're screwed. They might not get to practice. They might not get to shoot around. And I heard out of a WNBA player's own mouth that they would put their ass in the middle seat sometimes. The middle seat, as if these women are 6'6", 6'5", 6'3". What the hell they doing in the middle seat of a Southwest plane sitting next to little old me, just going on vacay with the girls? That'll make no sense. And it's unsafe. Their faces are seen by people all over the internet and all over the world. I don't like that. The comments Angel Reese be getting on her post, and y'all just got her up in the airport like she's just anybody? No, that ain't gonna work. And before y'all start with they don't make enough money. These owners have money to fly their players on planes. Actually, a lot of these owners are rich enough to have their own planes. Okay? They can get their team from point A to point B safely without them being amongst the common folk. Okay? So anyways, after this WNBA season, a lot is gonna change. Okay, starting from the bottom, now we're here. What? Started from the bottom, now the Valkyries fucking here. Why do I always sing? Like, who do I think I am? So, in 13th, we have the Golden State Valkyries in the power rankings, simply because we don't know anything about them yet. The Golden State Valkyries are a new team, and their current face is baddie and Asian American, I believe. Hold on, let me double check on this. The face of the Golden State Valkyries at the moment is Natalie Nakase. I want to say that is correct, and if it's not, I do not mean to butcher her name, and I mean that with the utmost respect, Natalie. She's the first ever Asian American head coach in the WNBA. That is absolutely incredible. Like, girl boss shit. Girl boss shit for real. And from my talks with WNBA players, she knows what the hell she's doing, and she has proven to be cutthroat. They cut their 17th overall draft pick in training camp because of what sounds like she didn't fit the system and where they're wanting to go. They seem to be having a focus on international talent. They're the Euro All-Stars, okay? And the WNBA, we haven't really seen this yet. In the NBA, the last few MVPs have been international players. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you've got Nikola Jokic. Are we in that era in the WNBA too? Well, the Golden State Valkyries are definitely testing it out. The hype is real, and the Bay Area is used to winning championships in the basketball department. Go Warriors, go Warriors. Steph Curry is my favorite player. But are they ready for the women's team? I think they might be. The Connecticut Sun have gone from contender to reset mode. They've got rid of all of their starters, and I believe they're the WNBA team with the most playoff wins or something like that without a championship. So maybe it was time for something new, but they were not playing. They got rid of their whole closet and are getting a whole new wardrobe, okay? They lost in the semifinals of the playoffs last year, but Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Brianna Jones, all gone. But they forced Marina Mabrey to be back, who asked for a trade, and they told her ass, no, you're not leaving. And the return of Tina Charles, a vet. It's a new era for them, and their expectations are definitely uncertain. Now, as for the Washington Mystics, they are in total rebuild mode, okay? In 2024, they completely missed the playoffs. Alana Del Don retired, Ariel Atkins was traded, and they are relying on a bunch of rookies. This is good for the rookies because it gives them an opportunity to thrive and to play and to learn the WNBA, the professional vibes, without a ton of pressure. Kiki Iriafen, who wore that gorgeous Nigerian gown to the draft, okay? And Georgia Amore, who tore her ACL and is out for the season before her first WNBA season ever started. And one thing I want to say about the Georgia Amore thing is this is in part due to the fact that college players have no rest before going into the WNBA draft and having to learn a professional system. And little do you guys know, like 16 to 20 players are at training camp and there's only 12 roster spots. They're all fighting for their spot and tons of people get cut, tons. So to go from fighting for your life in March Madness to being on a professional team and fighting for your life for your salary and livelihood is insane for these girls to have to go through. There needs to be a little bit more of a break if that's even possible. Then you've got the Los Angeles Sparks, okay, who have been in rebuild mode for as long as I can remember, to be honest. They were the worst team in the WNBA last season, and the biggest headline about them is they went out and got a vet, Kelsey Plum, who has won a championship, who is ready for a fresh start coming from the Las Vegas Aces. And it's Kelsey plus a bunch of young talent. She is teaching them the ropes, and she's trying to inject that championship mentality into LA that they've been missing for quite a long time. Cameron Brink, who's out with an ACL tear, who we were all looking forward to having her first rookie season, is out until June. So I can't wait to see her back. She tore her ACL like right before her Olympic campaign, and that was heartbreaking as a fan. So to see her back will be incredible for them. Rickea Jackson is ready to break out, and I'm ready to see them fit honey. Rickea Jackson is a bad D, serving face on the court the whole time. They won 8 out of their 40 games last year. 8. It can only go up from here, right? Then you've got the Dallas Wings, essentially Paige's playground, okay? Last year, they won 9 of their 40 games and missed the playoffs, hence them getting the number 1 pick. In a sports league, the best team is never going to get a number 1 pick. It don't work like that. But they're in for a rebrand and a rebuild. They've got a new general manager, Kurt Miller, a new coach, and the number 1 pick in Paige Bueckers. Some of their key additions are Dejanay Carrington, also a baddie, serving face on the court the entire time, Nalissa Smith, Ty Harris. They have a lot going on. And a must-watch team because Paige and Arike Agubawale, who's also box office to watch on the basketball court, we're going to see if they can make a backcourt chemistry that could be like a Steph and Clay, like a really fun thing to watch. And that's like my favorite kind of basketball. Then you've got the Chicago Sky. The LSU girls are back, baby. You've got Angel Reese and Hailey Van Lith reuniting. They were teammates at LSU. And we saw so many cute little moments where Hailey Van Lith was coming to Angel's defense while she was crying in the press conference. I really thought that was a good little duo, even though it didn't exactly work out on the court. Hailey had her little redemption with TCU. And now seeing her, Camila Cardoso, Angel Reese, I think they might be better than people are giving them credit for. Last year, they were 13-27 and missed the playoffs. But with Angel and Camila going into year 2, let's see if they can improve that a little bit. And with new coaching. In the preseason, it looked like they are a different team. This could be one of the best young cores in the league. Then you've got the Atlanta Dream. Their front court is scary. ATL, ho. ATL, ho. You see it, ATL, ho. In 2024, they lost in the first round of the playoffs. They added Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones, and their backcourt core is Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, and Jordan Canada. They've got a new coach and a new identity, but they are hungry to go further in the playoffs. Can this be the year Atlanta finally wins a playoff series? Phoenix Mercury, they said, are we in a rebuild? No, we're in a reload, okay? Last year, they were 19-21. They lost in the first round of the playoffs. Brittany Griner left in free agency to the Atlanta Dream. And then Diana Taurasi, the legend, retired. So you would think after all that, they would be like, you know what? It's time for a rebuild. It's time for a refresh. We're going to be bad for a while, and then we're just going to get better. Oh, hell no. Out with the old, in with the new. Satu Savali, Alyssa Thomas, Sammy Witchcomb, Kalani Brown, and Kalia Copper now leads a defensive-minded supergroup. Kalia Copper literally said that when they got into training camp, they didn't even touch the ball. They were just doing all the miserable shit that you do in practice. I don't miss that in my days as a high school athlete. I couldn't imagine it in the pros. The question is, can they fast track building chemistry and shock the world early? We're going to end top five, okay? The Indiana Fever. They are as good as everyone wants them to be. And this is how you treat a superstar like Caitlin Clark coming into your franchise. They're absolutely killing it, their front office. You've got Caitlin Clark, #1 pick, Aliyah Boston, #1 pick. That is must watch already. But then they added vets like DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard for that added experience. Last year they were 20-20, okay? Won just as much as they lost, which is pretty good for a team that got the #1 pick twice, okay? A team that was shitty at the time. They lost in the first round of the playoffs, so they made the playoffs. They had the Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark, more than deserved that. They kept Kelsey Mitchell, okay? And they hired a new coach, Stephanie White. But the chemistry and fit of all of these new pieces is what will decide their ceiling, but their ceiling could be championship. Caitlin Clark could win a WNBA championship. The question is, are they a top 4 WNBA team, or are they a year away? Then you've got the Seattle Storm. It's new faces. Hey, Lexi Brown, that's my girl. But the same expectations. Last year, they were 25-15 and lost in the first round of the playoffs. Out with Jewell Loyd, where that was a whole drama. I have a whole video up on it on my TikTok, but there was beef there, drama. Apparently, Skylar Diggins-Smith wasn't fucking with her. She was talking about it on Instagram. Jewell Loyd dipped up out of there. People were saying that Skylar wasn't a good leader. She was cussing out her teammates and stuff. I don't know. You got Nneka Ogwumike. You got Skylar Diggins. No Smith. She said no Smith, honey. It's back to Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins, and they are leading this team. They've gone from a rebuild to a full-blown contender overnight. Next up, you have the Las Vegas Aces with Asia A1, who's somehow still leveling up. Could she win the MVP? Again, A'ja Wilson is coming off of a historic MVP season at only 28. She is in her prime. That's terrifying. Jewell Loyd is in and Kelsey Plum is out. And they said the vibe in training camp was very serious, probably because Sydney Colson is gone, probably making the Indiana Fever laugh now. But they used to be a very unserious bunch, making us all laugh on TikTok and whatnot. And now it seems like they're not playing. Going from winning back-to-back championships to having a moment where A'ja Wilson was like, y'all are so ass, I'm only wearing white t-shirts to the game because I don't have time to meet with my stylist and worry about my fits. I got to get on this court and show them how to do it. And I'm going to win MVP while doing it. But MVP isn't enough for A'ja, okay? She wants to win championships. She wants to win finals MVP, okay? So it seems like the vibe is very, let's get back to that mountaintop. There are no signs of burnout, but free agency looms for A'ja Wilson in 2026. So could it be that if A'ja Wilson doesn't like what she sees this season, she dips up out of Vegas? They don't want that. They don't want that. Y'all better perform this year. You heard that. Then you've got the Minnesota Lynx, who are on their revenge tour because they lost in the finals last season, okay? They lost in Game 5 in an overtime thriller where some people think there might have been some referee involvement, okay? They're 30-10 last season, and their core is all returning. Their starting 5 is all returning. So it's pretty much the same team. Diamond Miller is fully healthy, but they're wondering, could they possibly be just a little bit better than they were last season? And if so, they might win the championship. And at #1 in the officially unofficial power rankings is the New York Liberty, the champs, running it back. The New York Liberty are coming off of winning their first championship in franchise history. They were 32-8 last season and obviously won the WNBA title. You've got Ellie the Elephant absolutely slaying, bringing in deals like she is a player. You've got Breanna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, the finals MVP, and Sabrina Ionescu all back and slayed at the Met Gala, by the way. They swapped out Vandersloot for Natasha Cloud, who's going to be adding defense and leadership, new point guard, and Sabrina Ionescu thrives when she's playing with an elite point guard. This team's identity is set. It's all about, can they repeat and own this momentum? So yeah, y'all, this WNBA season is going to be good. I know I'm going to be tuned in this season on a new level, okay? This season, I'm not going to be just a fair weather fan. I'm going to be locked in, all right? And you better be too. Thanks for watching another episode of Hoops for Hotties, or listening if you're listening via audio. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel or wherever you're listening on podcast, download this episode. Show me some love so I can keep this going. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching.